Good. All right, we're just here with Hugo, and we're working on our walking behind right now. And the way that we're doing that is we have the leash in one hand along with the e-collar, and I've got my hand slightly behind me. So if that leash becomes tight, I know that Hugo is stepping in front of me. And I'm using a visual guide for Hugo, which is going to be my left leg here, right? The left leg is basically what we use as that boundary line, and we can think of it almost like an electric fence. When my left leg is out like this is where that electric fence is. It's right at the seam of my pants, essentially. So what the dog can see there is the dog can always see me within their peripheral vision. If my leg exits that peripheral vision like that, we're going to correct on the e-collar and guide back with the leash as well. And what I like to do to make this very simple here, it's a little bit more difficult with the snow right now, but for owners, what they can do is they can take some steps and then use the line on the sidewalk here like this, and that's where you can stop and put the middle of your foot on that sidewalk line right there. And if the dog continues to go past the line on the sidewalk, that's when you're going to apply that correction and guide them back using the leash. We're going to apply the correction, hold down the correction, and guide them back with the leash until they remain in the position that you want behind your left leg. And once they're there, you can continue to walk, right? And what we do, good, is we'll stop. So usually I'll start with just one step every time, right? Like this, good. And we'll mark with good when the dog stops behind that left leg, showing me that they're paying attention to it, right? You can see Hugo's giving a ton of eye contact. He's doing fantastic. So what we do here, what we're doing, is using that left leg, putting it out here, and if he does step past it, we're gonna say no and apply that correction to that. And basically, when we do this, as we go along, we'll start to add more steps, right? And then if I stop, right there, right, starts to sniff the pee. We don't allow that either on our structured walking. He's not allowed to be sniffing around, trying to mark, trying to engage with other things when we're working like this. We want him to be focused on us and not focused on sniffing the other dog's pee or whatever the case might be, right? So if he stops like that to sniff pee, to try to mark, whatever the case might be, we're going to correct that as well, right? Because obviously he's going to be breaking the heel position to do that, and he's also going to be losing his focus on us, which is where we want his focus. If we want him to go pee or to go sniff, go mark, go potty, whatever the case is, we can release him with a break command, and we can let that leash out. We could let him out on a longer leash if we want, or just drop the leash if he's trained on the e-collar for off leash, if your dog is trained with that. But as far as stopping to sniff when he wants, he's doing really good now. Throwing a stop there. See, if we throw those in every now and then on our walk, we'll really keep the engagement with the dog. And you can even get in that auto sit, which Hugo does a relatively good job of. We're not really working on it right now, but there, if I stop, apply a little bit of pressure up or tap on the e-collar, he'll sit automatically, heel, and we can pattern that in pretty quickly. And I'm just attaching my heel command there as well, right? So when I start moving, I'm just giving that heel command. Heel, good. Now, a lot of people are gonna say like, ooh, that's kind of unfair, right? It's a walk. The dog should be able to go do what they want to do on the walk. They should be able to sniff, pee, and mark their territory when they want. And I would definitely disagree with that idea. I don't think that the walk is necessarily for the dog, especially not for most of my clients. At least most of my clients, they have let their dog do their own thing on the walk for most of their lives, whether that be 6 months, a year, or 5 years, whatever, as in Hugo's case. But most owners let their dogs do whatever they want on the walk, and as you can see, most of these owners, all of these owners that come to me are struggling with issues, right? And they're not struggling with these issues because their dog works in a perfect heel, right? Hello. And so it's one of those things we're definitely making sure that we're teaching this heel position and enforcing it, and so we can add that little bit of structure into our dog's walk as well, right? Because it's all about structure. I've never seen a dog resolve any behavior issues by being allowed to do whatever they want, right? Especially on the walk, but in any context, right? In the home, on the walk, it doesn't matter. Dogs don't resolve behavior issues by doing whatever they want, right? We're not going to be letting them go on a sniffari when they're in the meanwhile reacting to other dogs' heel. That's a beautiful dog, huh? Meanwhile, they're reacting to other dogs on the walk. We're not just going to let them do whatever they want, right? That's what gets them into trouble, is being able to do whatever they want and being able to be dogs, right? Let them be dogs, right? If we let them be dogs, they'll be chasing shit and killing it. They'll be barking at everything. They'll be biting people. They'll be biting each other. And quite frankly, that's not why we domesticated dogs. So just keep that in mind when you're wondering, like, if I should be letting my dog be a dog on the walk. It's like, for me, no, for the most part. There's going to be times on the walk, like, let's say, 20% of it is them sniffing, wandering around free on the end of the leash on a usual structured walk, marking whatever they want to do. And the rest of that time is going to be spent in a nice heel position. Heel right next to us, right? Nope. Good, there's a correction. I'm going to turn that level down. You can see that was a touch high, right? Because he's in a pretty accelerated state of mind back there. So I had that up a little bit, and now it's back down because he's calmed down. So just pay attention to that. Not that it's a big deal. Heel. Good. Good. Keeping that enforced. Keeping that position enforced. Yeah, it's certainly one of those things where you'll have a lot of different opinions from a lot of different sides of the spectrum of training or behaviorism with dogs, right? And again, we've seen a lot of dogs with some very, very serious issues, and none of them have ever been resolved by allowing them to do what they want to do, right? That's where 90% of these issues come from. From 8 weeks old, most dogs, especially these days, are doing whatever they want, and they're being given food for it, rewards for it. Heel. And that's why I'm so busy, right? So just keep that in mind.